Hello, everybody. This is Jimmy, and you're reading with Jimmy. This is Geoffrey Chaucer's 10-minute quick take that Jimmy does on the partner's tale, subtitled by Jimmy, Greed, Guilt, and the Hustle of Holiness. It's part of the Canterbury tales, and I'm doing this 10-minute breakdown so you read the whole tale with me. Welcome, everybody. What if I told you that a medieval preacher could admit that he's a liar, brag about his scams, and still tell a story that stops you in your tracks? Well, that's the partner's tale, a sharp, ironic, and chilling narrative about the love of money and the abuse of religion and the dangerous dance between the truth and manipulation. So, welcome to Reading with Jimmy's Quick Takes. I call these Quick Takes because these are 10-minute insights into literature's great classics. And I want you to do these 10-minute things to introduce you to it so you read the entire tale with me. So let's meet Chaucer's most cynical character and how a sermon can save others while damning the man who preaches it. So, what's the story? Well, the partner gives a prologue like many of the pilgrims do in the Canterbury Tales, and he tells us exactly who he is. He doesn't hide anything. The main character of the prologue is the partner, but don't forget the anonymous narrator who's narrating all these tales tells us what the partner says. So, what's a partner is an old church official who sells pardons, holy relics, for profit. He's smooth talking, deeply corrupt, and completely self aware. He knows exactly what he's doing. He brags about conning people out of their money, especially the poor. So, in the prologue, before he tells his tale, the partner confesses boldly that he preaches against greed, and yet he's greedy himself. He uses his sermons to manipulate emotions, extract money, and reinforce his own power. He openly admits, I preach for nothing but for greed and gain. You imagine that? But he still tells a great story. So, what is the story that he tells? Well, it's about three young rowdy men called rioters who hear that death has taken their friend. So they vow they're going to hunt down and kill death. An old man that they meet on the road tells them that they'll find death underneath that nearby tree. But when they arrive, they don't find death. Instead, they find a pile of gold. Their greed takes over. They forget about death entirely and they begin plotting how to steal the treasure from one another. One rioter goes into town to get some wine. Secretly, he poisons it. And the other two plan, well, kill him when he returns. All three end up dead. And there, beneath the tree, lies the gold and their corpses. What's the moral? Redi malorum est cupitatis. Greed is the root of all evil. It's a great tale, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're asking what's the big deal, well, the narrator pulls a brilliant trick. He lets the partner reveal his own corruption, and then he delivers a tale so well crafted and so impactful, it still works. It's about greed. The tale is all about greed. The teller is driven by greed. The characters in the tale are greedy. It's unbelievable. Reminds me of some people I know. Maybe it'll remind you of some of the people you know. What are some of the themes? Well, greed and its consequences. The moral is simple but devastating. Greed doesn't just corrupt, it destroys. And literally, not just metaphorically. Hypocrisy in power. The partner uses his religious office, a position of power, to exploit people he claims to save. He's the ultimate example of preaching virtue while he's practicing vice. You know anybody like that? The power of a performance. The partner is a great performer. What an actor. He knows how to move a crowd, stoke fear, offer comfort right before passing the collection plate. Death as the great equalizer. The young men in his tale hunt for death because death took their friend. And instead, they find their own greed. So they actually find death. Ironically, they find death. And the tale reminds us that death comes for everyone, regardless of age. As they say, you cannot outrun Father Time. You can't do it. So why does this tale matter today? I mean, who cares about today, right? Well, Greed is still everywhere, isn't it? From get-rich-quick schemes, remember Bernie Madoff, right? To corporate exploitation. Chaucer's tale reads like a parable for every financial scandal in modern history. And not just financial scandals, ladies and gentlemen, scandals of all kind. Just pick up the newspaper. Or I should say, read the streaming online, right? Read your paper online. Moral corruption hides behind good intentions. The partners sell salvations, but he profits from pain. Chaucer asks, how many people use morality to mask ambition? I'm a good guy. Give me some money. We still fall for emotional manipulation, don't we? The partner's audience knows that he's a fraud, and he plays good at what he does, fear, guilt, hope. He plays them like a violin, right? He plays them all like a violin. That's why you got to read this tale with Jimmy. And we still value truth-telling, even if it's from the unworthy. The partner is a horrible person. He's a crook. He's a con man. He's greedy. He admits it to us. But what a storyteller. That's why I encourage you to read the tale with Jimmy, because it's a great story. And hypocrisy is meant, we love to hate the partner. Maybe because we see a bit too much of the world in him. Maybe some of that is actually in ourselves, huh? What do you think? I don't know. Calling all readers. Calling all readers. That's the partner's tale in 10 minutes, but it'll take a little longer to read it with Jimmy. And I encourage you to read it. You're already on my website. Why don't you do that? You can go, if you're on the website, or go to YouTube. I'm on YouTube. They're all there. So I want you to visit the Nun's Priest Tale next, or choose your own. Maybe you want to read the Franklin's Tale. Read any of these stories you want. Before you go, I want to leave you with this thought. Can a message still be meaningful even if the messenger is corrupt? In other words, if the messenger is a crook and he tells you, don't be crooked, is that a meaningful message? I wonder. Thanks for joining me on QuickTakes. Look forward to seeing you on my website to read the complete tale about the partner. And before you go, all of the tales for Canterbury are on my website. They're also on my YouTube channel, which you can scan in the QR code that you see here. But I encourage you, after you read the tale, please read the comprehensive analysis of the tale. That comprehensive analysis is going to bring out much more than the tale itself when you read it with Jimmy. My email address is jimmy@readingwithjimmy.com, jimmy@readingwithjimmy.com. Send me an email. I enjoy your emails. And again, read the tale and then read the analysis. And please, don't be a crook.